Hello, everybody. We are now live. And I'm just gonna add my colleagues here, co-hosts, Coach Mildred and Kuya Joseph. Yeah.
Hello.
Give us a
Hi.
we will just share. We'll just share.
Yes.
Para
Okay.
naman mas
Let's just
marami
share
tayong
this.
audience.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you good, guys?
Yeah, sure. I'll look for it.
Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 5 of Your Next Chapter. Ayan. Ayan. Welcome. For those who are watching this live or replay, we are so glad that you're here. If you haven't watched our episode 4, please do so. It's already posted in our business page and profiles because this is actually part 2 of our finance topic. So, for today, our topic is financial security, why we all want more money. Part 2, and part 2 will discuss about more tips and tricks in every level. And 20s, if you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, and beyond. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna have a lot of fun here, and you're gonna get a lot of golden nuggets, diba, from our co-hosts today. Ayan. So again, before we start, just a little disclaimer, we are not professional financial advisors or planners. We're not here to really give you professional advice because it varies from person to person, and we'll be sharing our experiences today. Yeah, and then the shifts that we've made on how we view money and the lessons that we've learned from over the years, and of handling our finances. So we hope that we're gonna give you value for today. So before anything else, before we start, just a quick introduction. Mauna na ako. Ayan,
Yes.
my name is Arian, and I'm a Filipino immigrant based here in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. Been here since 2022, studied and juggled multiple jobs. I've been a programmer since 2009. So mag-calculate na lang kayo ng date, ng age. Ayan. But we moved here in Canada for a better future for our kids. And right now, I am working as an IT analyst, and I'm also a proud digital business owner. So go ahead, Kuya Joseph.
Yes, thank you. Ang galing mo mag-host. Thank you so much for that opening remark. So very good, very good. Yeah, so Joseph here from Hamilton, Canada. I have a wife and 2 young adults. I retired from the IT banking industry April 2023. Now fully retired, but obviously retired, but refired. So I'm actually looking forward for my next chapter in life, which is really this digital business that is providing me the time freedom and the passion that I've always wanted in my life. So I am a financial advocate. So I'm self-taught on financial planning, retirement planning, and at the same time, very active stock market and real estate investor. But you know what really, truly inspires me is really learning. Growing my what do you call this? Growing myself into this business, and at the same time helping our business community. So, as part of my job a while back, of course, one of the things that I'm very passionate about is helping my colleagues and my staff members do well in their jobs. So that's why this business model really suits me, and that's why I jumped in and never looked back. So anyway, thank you for that. And Coach Mildred, your turn.
Hi, everybody. Thanks, Ariane, for being the host for tonight. It is a beautiful Wednesday here in Ontario. Sunny. I just came from outside. I was in the suburbs and I was in the park. Beautiful day. I hope you all find time to enjoy yourselves. And so I am Mildred. I am a business coach. And before that, I worked several jobs. And in corporate world, I was in aviation. And now I found this. So this online business enabled me to be boss free and eventually retire earlier. So I've been doing this now for 5 years, and I'm so blessed and privileged to be here. And I am passionate about helping others thrive and empowering them to live their best lives. And I'm glad to be here working with you too.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys, for that very quick introduction, pero malaman. Yan. I hope you already know us kasi we've been doing this live for, it's currently our episode 5. Nakakatuwa, right? Yes, episode 5. So today's theme is about finance, personal finance, and it's from small steps to big wins. Kasi wherever you are right now in your 20s, 30s, 40s, or even 50s and beyond, it is never too late to build financial stability. Diba? The key is actually making the right moves and, take action so that you can at least progress in that stage of life. And so we will be talking about different tips and tricks yung mga natutunan namin in those years para naman makapagbigay kami ng value sa inyo, sa ating audience, right?
Mhm.
So we will be walking through the smartest money decisions you can make in each decade. Yun yung nakaka-excite, in each decade.
Mhm. So you have to have your notebooks, huh? Take down notes. You gotta have your pen
Yes.
and paper. Or if
Yes.
you watch the replay, just we're gonna give you practical tips because we've been through it.
Yes.
We've been through that, Joseph. So yes,
Yes.
we're just practical tips to help you guys. So this
Yeah.
will really help
And
you.
again, we are not perfect, right? Hindi naman ito parang end all be all, right?
Yes.
So this is just to give you an idea and maybe, learn something from our experiences as well.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And because people are in different stages, different
Yes.
situations, right?
Yes.
So different situations yung mga tao, right? So yeah.
Yes. So if you are watching this live or replay, we'd love for you to comment down below which stage of life are you in right now. Share with us, and what's the biggest money move that you want to make, or maybe you're scared. Just share about those what you're thinking right now of
Mm-hmm.
for your finances. So to start, let's start na.
Okay, we
Are
are
you
going to start.
Ayan. So, the first decade is the 20s. So, itong decade na to, this is where a lot of us start, earning money because this is where we graduate and start working, right? Kasi for most people, nag-aaral, yun ang advice sa atin ng ating mga parents, nag-aaral, magtapos, and magtrabaho. Right? So, what are your tips, diba, on how we can start, start having financial stability when we are in our 20s?
Okay.
Sino mauna?
So, do you want me to start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go
It
ahead.
depends,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because I remember in my 20s, I was still in university, actually, right? So at my stage then, I wasn't working. I was in university full time. But for people who are starting to earn, this is what we advise. Just practical advice, right? So number one, start saving early. Whatever amount, whether it is $1 a day, $2 a day, or pesos, whatever money you have, right? Because it will grow with yung term na to, you will learn about this compound interest. Oh my gosh. If you start saving early, the power of compound interest. So after a few years, 10, 20, 30 years, you started saving early, it will grow exponentially. Number one. Number two, you have to create a budget. I know that sounds foreign to a lot of people, but a budget is really important. And stick to it. And nowadays, there's so many apps. Oh, noon, we were growing up, wala. May piggy bank lang kami, piggy bank. And then we bring the money to the bank, right? I don't want to date myself, but we didn't have apps then. Number three, if you have debts, you have to pay off high interest debts like credit cards quickly. That is your priority if you have credit. But of course, we always suggest that if you can pay for it in cash, then pay in cash. Don't use your credit card, right? Those are my three tips. How about Joseph? Ano ang tips mo sa kanila?
Yeah, no, that's good. Well said, Coach Mildred. Well said. So to me, when I look back in my 20s, I was really spending. So although I was told, no, I was told to save and save. Um, when I started working at the age of 18, that's when I really started to be serious about saving. Now, ang nangyari is I would spend, but at the same time, in the back of my mind, kasi nga I took advantage of some of the company benefits, right? In terms of
Mm.
investments, I was already saving there. So in a
Mm.
way, parang ano siya eh, parang uh, automated siya na in the background, but I totally forgot about it. Pero I was still spending. So at the age of 18, I was already trying to save as much as early as I can. Now, the one thing that I would recommend and add on to what Coach Mildred said is start building emergency fund, right? And
Mm.
a lot of people have a question about what is an emergency fund. Well, an emergency fund is a fund that you need in case there's an emergency for you have to buy something um,
Mhm.
urgently, right? Urgently. So, we just lost Coach Mildred. Anyway, emergency fund like it should entail 3 to 6 months worth of your living expenses. That's what emergency fund is. So start building that kasi you never know, right? You never know what will happen in the near future. Maybe suddenly you decide to get married. I don't know at that early stage. At least you have some emergency fund. But yeah, no, emergency fund is one thing, but also start investing. I did mention at the age of 18 when I started with my employer, they had a profit sharing company profit sharing. So what happened was for every dollar that I would invest, they would put in 50 cents. So can you imagine you get 50% increase already on your investment. And at the same time, they have other um, ways of um, contributing to your company pension as well. So take advantage of it.
Mhm. Mhm.
So to me, those are the two big items that I recall during my 20s. Pero Ariane, I know it's probably more recent for you.
Yes. Back to me. Yes, kuya. Magaling ka dyan. Well, before I answer that, ayan. Nice learning. Good morning. Hi, Shirley. Thanks for watching.
Hi,
Hello.
Shirley.
Ayan. Ako, I think the biggest hurdle for us is the discipline.
Mm,
It's actually the discipline.
yeah.
Kasi, so my tip for that, yung tip na para masagot yun is learn how to manage the emotions.
Mhm.
Kasi ang hirap,
Mm.
ang hirap magtiis na hindi mag-splurge, lalo na pagka first time mong sasahod.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yan yung mahirap. So, yun yung tip ko. I'll just give one. There's a lot actually because you're right. Both of you are right when you said you save early. And then, syempre, tinamaan ako doon when I was 21, 22 years old. Wala kaming ipon, but we started the family early. And so, if you are at that stage in your 20s, it's really important to build your emergency fund, save at least, yung sabi nga ni Coach Mildred, kahit konti dun sa savings and investment na pwedeng mag-compound yung interest. Kahit
Mhm.
konti. Para lang
Yes.
umpisahan yung habit, right? So
Yeah.
yun yung for 20s. Yan.
Mhm. Pero,
So,
pero Pero
Yes.
I would add, if you think na the challenge is about discipline, I would recommend na make it automated, right? Yung parang,
Yes,
diba?
yes.
Make it automated. Parang every month, you can set up something from your income, your bank account, into a whatever savings plan or RRSP or whatever 401k, whatever it is.
Mhm.
Just do that automatically, so that way discipline is not a factor, right?
Yes,
You
absolutely.
just set it up.
Yes. Okay nga dito kasi you have those accounts na yun, yung RRSP,
Yeah.
RESP, TFSA, and ano, and the like. In the Philippines kasi wala. Ano lang, merong SSS, merong Pag-ibig, and what was it? PhilHealth. But but well, if hindi naman agad-agad nagagamit yung funds na nandun. So like, but it's really good to have those as well. That's automatic. But aside from that, you also should have savings talaga for emergency fund, and yung iyo talaga. So yun.
Yeah.
But yes,
Naku, dapat nakinig ako dito sa podcast na to noon.
noon pa. Yes. Yeah. And that's why it's
I was still in university, right?
yes.
20, I was in second year university. So by the time I finished, I was 24, 25, started working, and wala, it really depends on you, and when you start working, it's really your attitude towards money as well is so important. What is money to you? So
Mindset. Mhm.
it's a mindset, right?
Mhm.
So that's why it's so important at so young an age na you learn about this, because if you don't learn this in school, you gotta really find out what it is all about. If you're surrounded by people who are educated about this, then good for you. You are blessed, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, nako, splurge. Kain dito,
Bili,
shopping.
bili.
One
Shopping, grabe.
one misconception that people think about is, do they have to spend a lot in saving? Like, I mean, do they need a lot of money to save? The real
Oh,
truth
you
is
can
you can
start
start very,
small.
very small, very minimal.
Mhm.
You can start,
Mhm.
right?
And
So
because what we're trying to build here is the habit, diba? The habit.
Yes, the habit.
yes. So
20s pa lang tayo, ha? 20s pa lang yan. Oh.
Yes.
Pag-ibig MP2 and the e-banks in the Philippines are the best for that.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah, I heard nga, kuya. Yeah. Because the e-banks give higher interest rates.
Yeah.
Yan.
Yep.
Yan, may tips na agad.
Yes. Grabe.
Yes. So, after the 20s, eto na yung
30s na yan.
most of us nagsa-start mag-build ng family, or we're trying to climb the corporate ladder. At least yung mga napopromote, yan, mga nag-i-increase ng salary. But also, sumasabay ang bills. Kasi nga, if we're, getting paid higher, parang, again, yung discipline papasok na naman dito na
Yes.
mas malaki ang nilalabas, right? So yan, ano naman ang tips natin for those who are in their 30s?
Okay, you want to go ahead, Joseph, for the first?
Kuya Joseph, yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So my, when age 30s comes along, I think the theme there is grow and protect, right? In terms of your savings and investment. So I would say the first thing is start thinking about retirement, saving early, like Coach Mildred said, towards your retirement, right? So whether or not you want to increase more of your savings, which is fine, kasi nga at the age of 30, you should be more stable on your job. You should be getting a higher pay, or if not, you should have some sort of side hustle or part-time job, so you can take a portion of your income and start putting it towards retirement, right? And I know a lot of expenses come into play at the age of 30, because maybe you're thinking of buying a house then, or buying a car, or buying this. So you have to just make sure that you have enough that you can save, maybe 10 or 15% of your income towards investing your money in savings, right?
Mhm, mhm.
So I would say, yeah, start thinking about retirement. Kasi nga, like Coach Mildred said, compounding interest is something that will benefit all of us.
Mhm.
The
Yes.
more time horizon we have, the more better return we will have in the future. So
Mhm, mhm.
um, the other thing I would say is, so a lot of people have already asked this question, well, where should they invest? Well, I would say that investment should be well diversified, meaning don't put all your eggs in one basket, right?
Mhm.
So if you're
Yeah.
going to invest it on, let's say, on banks, then that's fine, but make sure you also invest it on other things like um, technology or manufacturing or well you have to be well diversified so that way when the market has some crashes or downturns then you are not too much affected by the volatility, right? So it's very very important to diversify. That's one of the uh, fundamentals and principles of investing, right?
Mhm,
One of the
mhm.
strategies that we all talk about when it
Yes.
comes to financial investments. And then lastly, I would say for me, I would say is at the age of 30, I know a lot of expenses come into
30
play.
to 39, mga ganyan, 'di ba? That
Yeah, yeah,
range.
yeah, yeah. I would say a lot of expenses come into play, but you have to try to budget and live below your means, I would say. You
Mm.
have to really budget. And the reason why you budget is so that you know where your money is going and where you're spending a lot in. So that way you can adjust accordingly. If you're spending too much on entertainment, right, then you can adjust that and focus more on to other things, which is more beneficial to you and to your goals. But it's very very important at the age of 30 to also have goals. You have to have goals,
Yes. Yes.
whether it's short term, mid term, and long term, because
Mhm,
those
mhm.
goals will drive where you would invest in, right? That's very fundamental when it comes to um, investing and savings, because your goals will drive the decision as to where what you do with your money. So anyway, I think that's it for me, Coach. You want to go next?
Sure. And also at this age, 'di ba, from like 20 to maybe about 50s, right? That age there, that age bracket, these are the times that you are really working. So generally,
Mhm.
you have to really take advantage of that, you know, earn the most that you can at your job or have a side hustle as well so that you have more money to invest, to save and invest. Remember, so before 20, syempre, you were young, you were still in preschool, high school, and then you start to earn at 20, 30, 40, 50. That range there is really, you gotta maximize that. Learn more skills so you can get better jobs, so you can be paid more. And then this is a general thing. And then also, if you have a side hustle, if you have a business on the side, then all the more. People also have two, three jobs, right?
Mm.
So if you want to maximize those working years, do that so that you can then save into for your golden years, right? So I would say too, in your 30s, again, here in North America, a lot of students have student loans, iba dito in North America. So really, when you start working, you have to try to start paying off your student loans because it's heavy. If you have student loans, if it's good, it's only 20,000, 30,000, 50, but others are 100,000, depends on what they take, right? Sciences or law, or the longer it is, the more uh the more intense the schooling is. Of course, the student loan is much bigger, right?
Mhm.
So it can go to 100,000, 200,000. Can you imagine? You haven't even started yet, you already are bogged down with the student loan.
Yeah.
So most important is to really try to, like, nip away at those debts. So
Yeah.
save, pay off the student loans, and if you have a mortgage, pay it faster. I know here there's biweekly, or there's also, you can have extra payments to your mortgage, right? So try to pay off your mortgage faster. And then the second one is, of course, as Joseph said, try to live below your means, right?
Yan yung
So,
pinakamahirap.
ang hirap talaga, even as your lifestyle improves. Because
Yes.
what happens is, the higher in your position you are, for example, you are an employee, and then you get promoted to a, a supervisor, and then a manager, and then a director, right? So with that comes, oh, I gotta buy better clothes, better shoes. So whatever money you earn, you also spend it because of your position. And then of course, if you have to take them all out for like lunch or dinner and stuff like that, so other expenses, right? And plus, mm, there will be other things that you'd like to do. Maybe be a member of the golf club, or
Yeah.
be a member of the country club, or if you want boating, be a member of the yacht club. So those things actually add, right?
Yeah.
So as Dave Ramsey said, it's really not a matter of how much you earn, but how much you keep, how much you save, right? Because ang nangyayari, mataas yung sweldo natin, tumataas din yung gastos natin. Di ba? Na mas maganda yung damit, di ba? Magpa-haircut ka, mas maganda yung haircut mo, manicure, pedicure.
Yeah, especially
Oh,
the rise of the influencers, coach, right? So, ang
yes.
dali-dali nating
Iba na ngayon eh. Di
Yes.
ba? Parang you have to look a certain look, right?
Yeah.
Kaya it's really it's challenging actually to save nowadays. That's
Yeah.
why the key here, as you said, Joseph, is really discipline. Diba? Sabi mo rin yun, Arian. Discipline. We really have to have the discipline to do that, right?
Yeah.
So another one too is, ayun, focus on career growth. Career growth and side income opportunities nga. Because the higher you are in the level in your corporate world or wherever it is on business, right? So, mas malaki din ang sweldo mo. And then maybe you have bonuses, and things like that, right? If you're in sales, there's extra perks. So, what do you do with that? So, yes, those are so important. And what do you think about that, Arian? Ikaw
Yeah.
naman.
Actually,
Ano?
yun ang nami-miss ko, coach, sa Pilipinas because in the Philippines, we have this 13th month, 13th
Yes,
pay,
I
14th
know.
month if your company
Yes.
is good, there's
Hmm.
performance bonuses. So, dito, wala.
Wala. Walang ganun.
If you're salaried, your salary is fixed. Yeah,
That's right.
nag-increase lang, yes, because there's a standard like increase in the salary here, right? But
Yeah,
yung
yeah.
mga bonuses, yun yung actually in a way those helped yung mga nasa yung mga employees back in the Philippines kasi pagdating ng November ng Christmas, nagkakaroon sila ng extra. So
Mm.
that yeah, may extra panggastos, pangbili ng gifts,
Yes.
yes, yun. So, yun yung nami-miss ko sa Pilipinas. But, nakarelate ako dun sa sinabi ni Kuya na in your 30s, you need to have goals. Because, in my experience, dahil masyado akong preoccupied with the, yung climbing the corporate ladder, yung career goals,
Yeah, yeah.
hindi ko naisip na I also need to have financial goals.
Yes.
Talagang parang nakafocus lang na, okay, we have to work because we have to pay the bills.
Yeah.
Those kind of things. And nung mga early 30s ko, yun yung wala ako, the goal talaga. So parang dumating na lang siya sa akin, mga 34, 35, doon ko na naisip na, oh my gosh, we're still here. we're still spending this, getting the salary, spending this.
Yeah, yeah.
Wala tayong malaking ipon. And back in the Philippines, we're still paying our mortgage. So hirap talaga kasi you have a lot of responsibilities in your 30s and ang hirap niyang pagsabay-sabayin, but you really
Yeah.
have to make priorities, I guess, para alam mo kung anong uunahin and you can really save up for the future. So so that's our tips for the 30s.
30s na yun, oo.
Yes. Now, ayan, mas makaka-relate naman na kayo dito. Now, what are our finance tips for those who are in their 40s? Yeah.
Wala hindi included si Arian dito kasi hindi pa siya 40.
Wala eh. Tayo lang eh.
Yes, makikinig ako.
Very important, ha? You really have to, this is very crucial. Finance tips in your 40s, yeah? Okay.
Yes, go
You want
ahead.
to start?
Go ahead, coach. No, go ahead.
Okay. In your 40s, the main thing to do here is really to prioritize retirement savings. Yun talaga ang priority. And to aim to contribute the maximum if you can. Whether it's savings, whether it's investments, right? Or in your company, if they have like a, what do you call that? Parang pension plan.
Mm.
A lot of companies here have private companies, or even the government has that. So you can actually, because what it is whatever contribution you have, the company matches it. If you have that kind of company, oh my gosh, that is a plus, right? Not all companies do that anymore. So if you are fortunate enough to be employed with a company like that, then awesome, right? So maximize that, right? That is the theme in your 40s talaga. And did I know this then? No, I didn't. Yeah, real talk, real talk. I really didn't know, right? I'm telling you. Si Joseph, buti si Joseph, alam na niya to. Kaya sa lahat ng nakikinig dyan, makinig talaga kayo. You gotta listen to this because it is so crucial. It is so crucial, right? So what you do in that time, right? But kaya nga ngayon at this time, this is for me, it's like, oh, this is crunch time. It's crunch time. Like, you're catching up because
Okay.
if you weren't able to do that earlier, you have got a lot of catching up to do. I'm just so fortunate that because of my job and I had some investments there already. I have other things that were in place already, right? So that's catching up as well. So number one, ito again, pay off debt aggressively, especially mortgages. Why? Because when you retire, if you retire early in your 60s or 65, whatever, as much as possible, you don't want to have a mortgage because that is a big chunk of your budget, right? Gusto mo wala ng mortgage. It's either paid off or either you downsize to a smaller place. Lots of people do that, right? And lots of people also move elsewhere. We're gonna go there then. But that is the most important thing. Maximize on paying down debt aggressively. Number two, ito, save for kids' education. But this is something that you really had to do when you were younger. If you already had a family in your 20s, start an RESP, a registered educational savings plan, so that will help your kids and you when your kids now go to university at 18 or 19 or 20, right? Although here there is OSAP, like a student loan, government student loan. But even if they have that, it's not enough, especially if they go to residence. If they're out of your city, right, and it's 2 hours away, they cannot commute 2 hours each way. So they stay closer to the university residence. So that's extra also. So people have to look forward to that, okay, these are the expenses. So you have to prepare for that, right? Save for kids' education if that applies, but do not sacrifice retirement. Retirement. Very important, right? So that's it for me. So how about you, Joseph? Ano pa ang kailangan gawin in your 40?
Ang galing ng summary mo, coach. But one thing I'd like to add, I would like to add. I know you said na you didn't do it, you didn't follow it yourself. But you know what? When I look at you, you look like you had enjoyed your time.
Oh yes, that I would say.
So to me, if you were to choose, which one would you choose whether freedom or I guess
Save
discipline.
your life. Yeah.
It's freedom of course will always be there, right? Pero it's funny you said that because you're not the only one. I know a few friends that has done the same thing, and they're, you know what, they have traveled and seen many places and
Yes. Yes.
learned a lot more than people that were more conservative in terms of saving. So
Yes.
there was a trade-off. There was a trade-off.
Yeah.
But by
Trade-off
all
talaga. You
but by
cannot
all
have
means,
everything kasi. You can't have
exactly.
everything.
Ay, nakamute ka, coach.
You press, yeah, there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alam mo, that is so true. It's a good thing. You're very smart, huh? You caught that right away.
Alam mo,
You caught
uh,
that right away. That is the trade-off because, and that is why, in I finished my university degree. I have my bachelor's degree, right, in psychology and social work. But then at that time, I thought I really love to travel because my father was in aviation, right? He was a pilot, so at a young age we were already exposed to travel. I said, and I think the fastest way for me to travel the world is to join the airline. So I was thinking like, because if I work, it'll take me ages before I can save money to go to one country each. What you can when you're working, you cannot take a leave every month to go
Yes.
2 weeks, 3 weeks. And that's why I joined the airline. And I thought I would only stay for a year, but I ended up staying for almost 12 years, right? So
wow.
that for me was really, and that a lot of things that you learn there, and it enriches your life.
Yes,
All those experiences, the
that's what I know.
places that we went to, you learning about other cultures,
Mhm.
other people, how they live, what they eat,
Yep.
their mindset and all of that. And that all of those experiences, those years and where I am now is what makes me Mildred today. And
That's right.
that was the trade-off
Yeah.
because yes, we were working, right? We would fly, but those are limited. So but in between that, I would still fly. Of course, I would use the money I saved up to go for other trips as well. So that really is, I would say, if you have the ability or the chance to really travel, do it while you are still young,
Yes.
even before you get married, because
Yeah.
you're free to do whatever. It doesn't mean to say that if you're not married, you cannot do it. But there are some limitations, of course, because you have responsibilities now, right?
Mhm.
Maybe you have a kid or two. Maybe you have a house, a mortgage, or rental. But if you are single, which I did, I was free to do whatever. And I have no regrets. I have
That's
no regret.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Yes.
right?
That's
Because what
beautiful,
would you
coach.
rather have? What would you rather have? Work until you're 60, 65, and then that's when you start traveling? You're not even guaranteed your health. You don't even know what ano na ang situation ngayon sa mundo, right?
Yeah.
Can you still travel? And that's why I said I am so blessed because we decided to go to Israel. That was one of the biggest trips that we had before 2020. And you know what happened to the world, right?
Yes.
So I'm so thankful that we are able to go there to Israel
Exactly.
because now it's different, right?
Yeah, that's
So
really
things like that, right? So take advantage talaga, travel, whether locally or, internationally. Yes,
Mhm.
yeah.
very
I
enriching.
think dun pa ako makaka-relate, kuya. The
Sa
trade.
travel,
Yes. O, di ba 40s na to, but I can
yeah.
yes.
So
Yes. So there was a
Um,
trade-off.
I think for a bit, I'm like Coach Mildred, in that sense. Kasi
Mm,
when I was in my 20s, even though I had a family early, I chose that path, yung mag-travel,
yeah,
even if I don't save up a lot, but we did have options then.
yeah.
Tapos yung travel naman namin is like may mga mura naman na naka-seat sale
Yes,
or promo
yes.
fair or something like that. So,
correct.
but yes, you're right when you said there are trade-offs. There really are trade-offs, and
Mm.
I think right now in my mid 30s, I don't regret naman that I did all of those when I was
Exactly.
younger. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
I did enjoy that time as well. So yun, sige kuya, go ahead for your tips. Di ba?
No, Coach Mildred said almost all of it. The only thing, there's two things that I will add. No, at the age of 40, because to me, that 30 to 40, that those 2 decades are very, very important in terms of building the foundation and discipline
Mhm.
and making sure that you set up your future, right?
Yeah.
Success.
Yeah.
So it's very important. But the age of 40, I would consider perhaps like what Coach Mildred said. Na at that siguro you're more stable in your job. You could
Parang naglalag si
probably have
Joseph.
a part-time
Ayan.
job, or
Yeah, Kuya Joseph, I think you're lagging.
You're lagging. I hope we get him back.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think the last
I'll
time
tell
I
you.
was looking.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Oh, Kuya, I think your video paused.
I'll tell you
Baka
what.
kailangan kang mag-re-enter. Nawala.
Re-enter. Ayan. And
Wala.
Joseph will be right back.
Yes.
He'll be right back.
Diba? This,
You know, this is so interesting, huh? Even now, right? So, there's really a lot of learnings. Marami talaga. So, if you know this already and it's happening now and you're listening to us, alam mo, implement this, and then you'll thank yourself for it. Kasi I know it's tight, right? Tight kasi lalo na if you have a family. Like, how do you save for retirement when you have a family? Not even one, maybe 2, 3, 4 kids.
yes.
So that's so tight,
Yun, coach, I
Fighting.
can relate to that so
right?
much. Yeah.
And we know, we understand.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
difficult na sabay-sabay lahat ng kailangan mong bayaran
I
and
know.
responsibilities and all of
Exactly.
that. But
Yeah.
that will also pass, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I know. So kailangan catch up talaga eh. You gotta catch up eh. If you're not able to save at that time, right? At that point in time. And Joseph is back.
Yes.
Yay!
Sorry. Go ahead.
This
Right,
is it
continue.
because we're live. This is what happens.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just discussing, Kuya, na it's very important to know all of these things. And I think what's important as well is like knowing people like you guys. Like if you are in your 20s, 30s, or actually any age, you need to have mentors to guide you as well. So kung makakahanap kayo, wow, that's really a bonus, 'di ba? Na
Mhm.
you can do whatever you have to do in those like decades of your life na hindi ka lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So what I was gonna say earlier was that two things I would like to add now to Coach Mildred, saying that when you're at that age, about 30 to 40s, your income is higher, so you can afford to probably invest more aggressively, right? Because at 30s you're
Yes.
probably not investing as much, but at 40s you
Mhm.
can probably invest more. Because compounding interest is towards your own benefit. So that's one thing. The other thing is this is probably the time where you want to start looking at life insurance. Life insurance is very important for the future, not so much
Mhm.
of the current, but more of the future. Because life insurance can protect you on taxes and also on unpaid loans and debts down in the future, right? So start looking for life insurance, and I would not even recommend term insurance. I would recommend whole life insurance, right? So
Yes.
I'm not a licensed advisor, but I can tell you that whole life insurance is beneficial for people that are within that age group.
Mhm.
Okay, so yeah, that's all I wanted to share.
Mm. Thank you, Kuya, for those tips.
Thank you.
Oh, okay pa kayo sa next level?
Oo, ngayon, eto na.
Yes. Sa 50s and beyond.
Makinig ka, Arian. Very
Yeah,
important to.
I think madami ding tips dito kasi especially for us in this community, in this online business, nakaka-amaze that there's a lot of online business owners na nasa 50s and beyond. Like
Yes.
I didn't expect that because this is kind of medyo techy. Kasi it's in the internet, it's all online, all of
Yeah.
these tools
Yeah.
that we're using. But you can see when you get inside the community, there's like 50s, 60s even. Na,
Oh
80s,
yes.
oh,
80s,
80s. Oh,
80.
that
Yeah.
are doing this.
89.
Yes.
89.
Yeah. Which
Yeah,
is
di ba?
good. That means
Nakakabilis.
anybody can do it, right?
Yes.
You're never too old. It's
Yes.
never too late to start something exciting like this. Yeah.
Yes. So what are
Mhm.
our finance tips for those who are 50s and beyond?
Oh,
Coach,
Joseph, ikaw naman.
yes.
Okay. So
50s
typically,
and beyond, huh?
yeah. So typically between 40s and 50s, it really overlaps, right? To
Mm.
me, the decades of from 20s to 50s is really a journey,
Mm-hmm.
of you learning how to invest and how to save, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know if we mentioned, but at the age 30, people should still or should start. I did mention goals, diba? No, so goals,
Yes, you did.
but
You did.
but one thing that we should also mention is start the retirement planning, and that could be between 30s to 40s. So within
Mm-hmm.
50s now, right? Within 50s,
Mm-hmm.
you're actually wanting to put that into execution. Yung
Yeah.
50, kasi, for any financial advisor would tell you, when you want to retire, you have to start planning 10 years before you retire. So that's why the age of maybe 40s to 50s overlapping into both those decades, you should start really planning your retirement, right? So that's one thing, right? Number two is perhaps I would say in your 50s, there's probably a lot of things that can happen. A lot of people in their 50s, I've noticed, is they become very aggressive in their investment. So they start flipping
Mm-hmm.
houses. They flip houses, right? So as you flip houses, obviously there are no tax implication,
Yeah.
but you're growing your equity, you're growing your portfolio. So people are actually not just investing, but actually flipping the houses to gain more equity and more income that way, right? So a lot more people are, for some reason, are doing that. But obviously, you have to time the market. I mean, obviously, if the
Mm-hmm.
market's not good, you don't do it. But when the
No.
market is good, you buy
Yeah.
low, you sell high, right? So something like something like that. Because people at the age of 50, they feel, for some reason, they feel that they're under pressure to reach that retirement goal. Well, what should happen is really preparing it at the age of 30 and 40, right? So that's why it's so important that um, the beginning stages of your 30s and 40s, that you must have those goals. And that's why we mentioned goals early on, right? On the 30s, because
Mm-hmm.
you want now at the age of 50, you want
Yeah.
to really just execute those goals, and be aggressive on trying to meet your, obviously, retirement phase in life, right? So to me, that's very, very important. And of course, like Coach Mildred says, you have to also prioritize all the time. So again, it's a journey. You prioritize at the age of 40, you prioritize at the age of 50, because that's what life is all about. You learn, you learn, you execute, and then you move on, and whatever, right? So it's really a great journey, as long as you have a good plan, right? It's really, but believe it or not, there are only 30 or 35% of the people in North America that has a plan. 30%,
Oh,
30 to
I
35,
know. Yeah.
which is sad. A
Yeah.
lot of them are living paycheck to paycheck, and they don't know what's going to happen in retirement. So at the age of 50, this is where people are really being serious about their portfolio, their investments, and their
Mm-hmm.
retirement. But it shouldn't have happened that way. It should have happened way earlier, so they can
Earlier.
follow their plan and execute at the age of 50. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
be more aggressive at the age of 60. Obviously, you're just, well, we can talk about that later on, but I would say those are the major things that I had in mind. But Coach Mildred, what do you have in mind?
Well, really, So important because we're talking from experience, right? Because dumaan tayo dito.
Yeah.
Would have known all of this before that. But you know what? It's okay. Fine. It's good, right? So yes, we said already, really is try to pay off all debts even before retirement. But we know for a lot of people that is not feasible. Hindi talaga pwede, right? Kasi you have other expenses going on at the same time, right? Um, are you ready for retirement? Are you ready for retirement? You really have to sit down with your partner or your family, or if you're by yourself, you need to find out your finances. How healthy are they? Where are you? Are you prepared? Because when you retire, really, you have to think, okay, how many more years? And right now, with medicine and health and all that, a lot of people live longer. So if you retire maybe at 60, maybe you have 20 more years or 30 more years. You really have to look at the numbers. If you retire at 50, or the longer you have 40 years till 90. But a lot of people now are living till 100. So you have to think, long term, how long will your savings or your investments last? Will it cover the time that you have left after retirement? Because in retirement, of course, you still want to do stuff. You want to travel, right? You just don't want to stay home. At that time, a lot of people really have a lot of plans. Travel or maybe buy another property or downsize or live in another country 6 months, come back to Canada 6 months. Some people do that, right? Depends on what you want to do,
Mhm.
right? So those are the things that you have to evaluate, and downsize, right? Or simplify your life. Yeah. And that's why nowadays there's so many things now on YouTube. I am so, that thing on YouTube, living big in a tiny house. I don't know if you've seen that. That is a movement now that has been happening for years. It started in Australia, and then in it went to Vancouver, some parts of Europe, right? Because here in Ontario and Eastern Canada, too cold for like tiny houses, right? So but there's still ways that you could downsize here, right? It doesn't have to be that kind of a tiny house. And then also consider long-term care insurance, because people get older in North America. The reality is the older population have to really look into like retirement homes, right? Depends on your health. If you can still live in your house, that's great. But if you can no longer care for yourself, that's another step that you have to. This is the reality. This is another step that you have to think of, really. And
Yeah,
the retirement homes
actually,
here,
I'm gonna,
last week,
I was supposed to ask actually, what
yes.
does really retirement look like here? Kasi, di ba parang lagi nating sinasabi na, oh, are you ready for your retirement? Like, yes, we do have our own like preferences, di ba? Kung ano yung gusto nating mangyari sa retirement. But on the average, like, what did you observe when it comes to, people who have retired and lived longer?
Mhm.
Sa Pilipinas kasi I think maikli ang lifespan ng mga Pilipino.
Pero enjoy sila sa buhay nila. Enjoy.
You're right, you're
Walang
right.
pera. Kahit walang pera, they have so much fun. It's very
Yes.
different, right?
Yeah, very different.
Mentality, your outlook in life, they're more positive. They're more like, even if you go to the little provinces, there's poverty there, but they're happy.
Yes,
They're
yeah.
contented. With a little rice, lagyan ng suka. Ay, suka naman, toyo. Konting asin. Konting toyo. Di
Yeah,
ba? Masaya sila. But the reality is here in North America, the adult kids are busy also working. That is the reality. And they're also raising up their own kids. So they really don't have to take the time to take care of their aging parents. And this is what I'm saying. That's why it's so important. And not just about financial health. Yung health din natin, physical health, emotional, psychological, and mental health is so important. Because if we don't take care of it now that we are still younger, then it'll just get worse. And you want to be able to be independent as long as you can. You don't want to be depending on your kids. That is the reality here in North America, right? In the Philippines, it's a different thing because you have so many relatives and people that can help care for you. And of course, living expenses so much cheaper. You can get a nurse, a full-time nurse there to care for you. And that's why a lot of people retiree, they stay there 6 months and then here 6 months or whatever the case, right?
Yeah.
So your retirement funds, your pension, whatever amount you get, stretches longer in the Philippines because it's cheaper to live there. Here, oh my gosh, if you have a retirement home, I don't know what it is now, but when we were looking before for a family member, it was like 8,000 to 10,000 a month. Can you imagine? Who can afford that, right? So that is the reality. So these are the things that you have to take care of. And what will you do in your retirement? What is your lifestyle? Will you, because of your health, can you still continue to travel or limited na lang yung travel mo, right? Where will you live? Will you live in the city or will you live 2 hours away, 3 hours away, 4 hours away where houses are so much cheaper, right? And tapos yung healthcare mo. Dito, yes, we're covered, right? But if you go other places, it's not covered. And when you travel, of course, another thing is you have to get travel insurance. Now, it depends on your age and depends on your health. The healthier you are, of course, the cheaper the travel insurance is. Now, depending on your conditions that you have, it's more expensive or they will outright deny you insurance. They'll not cover you because you're a risk. So these are the things that you really have to think about. Real talk, serious talk.
Yes. Yes.
Know about these things. Hi, Ella.
Hi,
How
Ella.
are you, Ella? Good to see you.
Yes,
So,
no
this is real
worries.
talk. Real talk yan, di ba? Joseph?
Ayan.
Yeah. I mean, I would add to that, no, yung question ni Ariane. There's two sides, right? There's always the financial side, and there's also that, like what Coach Mildred said about the practical side, which is your health. At the age of 50, I mean, at that point, you should also be preparing yourself for future retirement, which means that your lifestyle, you should also prepare for, right? So obviously, you want to go into that retirement healthy, right?
Mhm.
So you got to change your lifestyle. Whether if you're eating too much salt or too much sugar, you got obviously too much fat. You got to cut that out. There's that lifestyle change in preparation for retirement. But the truth of the matter is, on your retirement life, health is number one, very important, like what Coach Mildred said. But the financial side of things is also crucial because if what you don't want to happen is run out of
Funds.
savings, run out of money on during your late retirement, like
Mhm.
90s or 80s, whatever, right? 80 to 90s. You want to have some substantial funds to support your whatever can happen. That's why it's so important, right? As part of that goal that we talked about at the age of around 30s, is to have that guaranteed income on retirement. So guaranteed income means it's the pension plans, the company dividends, any income from your side hustle or any income from your that generates passive income. That guaranteed income is very, very important. And this is why I also stressed by trying to maximize your pension contributions, your retirement plan. We did mention that earlier, right? Maximize it, because once you maximize it and the compounding interest works in your favor because you have the longer horizon, then you have enough to sustain your retirement life, right? So yes, absolutely, I totally agree with what Coach Mildred said. But there's also that financial side, because you can't live here or anywhere for free, right? So it just doesn't happen. That's why you have to start really, creating that goal and follow through with those goals and making sure that you manage, monitor, and execute those goals, right? Because it
Yes.
leads towards your successful retirement life. So
Yes.
Yes.
yeah.
And I think I want to add to Joseph and Arian. I think another factor too we have to consider is at this point or at any point in our life, there is also what we call inheritance.
Mhm.
If you are fortunate enough to receive that, maybe from an uncle or a tita or a lolo, your grandfather, your grandmother, or your parents, right? So that is a blessing if you have a chunk of inheritance, right?
Yeah.
That will help you tremendously, right? At any point
Mhm.
in your life, maybe you know or you don't know. So that is a bonus. That is actually a blessing. And if you get that, and depends on how big it is, right? Oh my goodness, right? It'll help you a lot, right?
Yeah.
Pay
Yeah.
off all those debts and then build your retirement funds, right? So, but it's really, I think this topic is about really preparing ourselves for the inevitable because
Yes.
really we're gonna get there. Okay, we're already here. Joseph and I are already here.
Yes, definitely, definitely. Thank you so much to both of you for those tips kasi sobrang real talk yan for
Real
us,
talk
even for
talaga.
sa mga younger generations. But what I remembered from both of your answers was meron talagang trade-off, right?
Oh
And
yes,
our finances, our financial
yeah,
status, yung the money that we have, it always really seeps in through different facets of our life. Like, kaya
yes,
kailangan nating mag-prepare in our 20s, 30s, 40s,
correct,
50s.
correct, yeah,
Baka kung mabubuhay tayo ng matagal.
yeah,
Kasi, ang bottom line is, prepared ba tayo? When that
yeah,
time comes.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah,
and and I think the most important is that we have to start early. We have to start saving and investing
yes,
early. But
definitely,
guys, to wrap up. Oh, sige kuya, are you gonna mention something?
Yeah, no, kahit, I mean, the idea is to start early, pero kahit small investments lang, kahit
yes,
$50 a month or something.
yeah.
Say what happens if you start early and
Oh
you
my
just
gosh,
you just keep doing
compound
that.
interest,
It will just trickle, and it will just parang ang baliwala siya after a while.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that's why the key is to start early and
mm-hmm,
invest kahit a small amount as possible. That's really
mm-hmm,
the key.
yeah.
Really key.
Ayan, sabi ni El,
Sana all.
yes, how I wish.
You'll never know. Maybe you have a rich lolo there, a rich lola, tita. You'll never
No,
know.
long,
Then
long
the
lost relatives.
inheritance. But I know the reality is also at this time, I know, a lot of people also do the lotto, right? They
Yes,
want to win something. It's like, yeah, lotto. But there's no guarantee in the lotto, right? There's nothing. So it's better to save that $50, whatever you
Mhm.
it costs you to buy monthly, itong lotto tickets, i-invest mo na lang yan, $50 a month or
Yeah.
$100 a month. Nako, it will go a long way. Better pa. Compound interest. Remember, compound interest. Oh
yeah.
my
Yeah.
gosh.
Oh my gosh, I knew that in my 20s, but I didn't really apply it to myself.
Kasi gastos, hala, go out
Yes,
with friends,
yes.
shopping. Yeah, di ba?
Yeah.
Di ba?
So, thank you so much guys for all your tips. We've learned a lot.
Yeah.
Meron pa ba kayong mga final
Oy, i-ano
final
natin, the key, yung i-summarize natin, di ba?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
the key here talaga, okay, let me summarize. The key here in your 20s, ang pinaka-importante, build habits and start early. Build habits, start early, okay? In your 30s, grow and protect. Whatever investment that is, you grow and protect. In 40s, you gotta maximize and secure whatever investment you have. Maximize yung earning capacity nyo, maximize yung lahat yan. And then secure it. Sa 50s, preserve and prepare. That is it, just to summarize that.
Absolutely. Thank you,
Mhm.
Coach Mildred. Kuya Joseph, may message ka pa for our
Yeah.
audience?
Bakit walang 60s?
Nagabot ng 60s?
Ay, alam mo? No, we have to add that. Okay.
No,
Tingin natin.
just
Di
kidding.
ba?
Just kidding.
Hindi, totoo yan. Di ba importante yan eh? Oh? Kasi wala din sa ano eh.
Maghahanap na ba ako ng long?
Long lost family.
Hindi, ganun din oh. I will give you some. Ito, pareho pa rin oh. You know, I just asked our best friend here.
Yeah.
Review your retirement income streams o ano income streams mo, di ba? If you have a pension plan, a government benefit, retirement accounts, investments.
Yeah.
And then you have to take a look at your social security, your Canada pension plan and old age security, right?
Mhm.
Pay off remaining debts, okay? Rebalance your investments. So you really have to have a qualified, anong tawag to? You have to have a financial advisor help you with this, right, Joseph? And then plan healthcare costs. You have to plan that. Supplemental insurance. You gotta have a health fund, right? Create a withdrawal strategy. How will you withdraw your funds? Because to minimize the tax implement of that, right?
Yeah.
Yung tax, ano mangyari sa tax mo? Review your estate plans. Think about downsizing and keep a fund. So for travel, for hobbies, family, experiences, and all that. Yun. Huwag
Yeah.
na maiwanan yung 60s kasi important din yun.
No, but
Right.
what I would add in terms of part of our closing remarks is really so. What we discussed today is really crucial, no, to our everyday lives, no, from the 20s all the way to 60s. But one thing that I will always remind people is they have to be assertive, they have to be resilient, they have to be disciplined, and at the
Yes.
same time they have to go sometimes out of their comfort zone to learn all these things about
Mhm.
discipline and applying what truly matters to them most as part of their
Mhm.
goals, right? So,
Yeah.
kasi to me, I see people getting parang discouraged, right? Discouraged. Kasi nga, parang wala silang, they don't know what to do and they don't have a path, to go and direction, right? So,
Yes.
but once you sit down, talk to your spouse, talk to whatever, your partner, discuss it, and seriously just think about what's gonna be like in the next 10 to 20 years. Parang
Yeah.
ganun, right? Just
Yeah.
have that discussion. Kasi if you don't, then it will never really materialize, right?
Yeah.
So to me, the mindset, the assertiveness. What I said assertiveness kasi nga sometimes we have to be assertive on things that we want done in a
Yes.
way, right?
True.
So we have to be assertive in a good way. So there's that mentality side of things rather than just the financial planning part of it. You have to be very strong-willed in doing so. So to me, if I can do it, everybody can do it, right?
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
true.
Yes. Thank you so much, Coach Mildred, Kuya Joseph.
Oh!
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So
Good.
as we end today's session, I'm really glad that we've given so much value, so much golden nuggets here in this episode. And here's the big reminder to all of us, even I, kahit ako,
Mhm.
diba? That financial
Yes.
stability doesn't happen overnight. Talagang may planning. It's
Yes.
built with very first, deciding one decision and then building that habit and then taking the one step at a time, yung execution. So
Mhm.
whether you are in your 20s, 30s, what, even kung anong age pa yan, there is always a move that you can make today that your future self will thank you, right? And it's not about being perfect with money. It's about being intentional. Yung magkaroon ka lang ng goal, malaking
Mhm.
bagay na yun.
Yes.
So yeah, we don't want to want money just for survival. 'Di ba? Sino bang may gusto nun? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's about creating the freedom, peace of mind, and the legacy for the
Yeah.
people, for yourself, and for the people that you love. So,
Mhm.
if you got a takeaway from this episode, just comment down below and we'll be happy to engage with you guys. So, I guess this is it for our finance. I know there's a lot of topics that are parang na singit-singit, but I
Mhm.
know that there's a lot more episodes that we can do to discuss all of those. So, just tune in our business pages and set your alarms, every
Yes.
Wednesday, 6 p.m. And
Yeah.
thank you guys for watching your next chapter. So we'll see you again next week. Bye, guys.
Bye. More to come. More to come.
Yes.
Bye, everybody. See you again next week, Wednesday. Take care. Have a great week.
Bye.